All right, let's get back to that early morning White House press briefing today. Tom Homan doubled down, defending the administration against criticism from a federal judge in Louisiana over deportations involving children. Take a listen.
If you choose to have a U.S. citizen child, knowing you're in this country legally, you put yourself in that position. You put your family in that position. What we did is remove children with their mothers who requested the children depart with them. This was a parental decision, parenting 101. The mothers made that choice. And I tell you what, if we didn't do it, the story today would be Trump administration separating families again.
All right, let's bring in CBS News immigration and politics reporter Camilo Montoya-Galvez. Camilo, thank you for being with us on this Monday. Can you explain the circumstances around these two cases here?
Hi, Liz. Good morning. Yes, so these are the facts as we know them about these two cases, now at the center of the nation's contentious debate over immigration policy. We know that last week there was a deportation flight from Louisiana to Honduras. And on that plane were two families with U.S. citizen children. There was one family that included a mother from Honduras who had a deportation order list because she was in the country unlawfully, and she was accompanied on that deportation flight by her 2-year-old American citizen who was born here on U.S. soil. What we do know is that according to her lawyers and the family's representatives, the father of that child, the U.S. citizen, wanted the child to remain in the U.S. and had tried to appoint a U.S. citizen as the legal guardian of that child so she could remain here on American soil. But ICE said that it did not get the required information in time to do that, and that the mom, who again had that deportation order, expressed her wishes and intention to be deported alongside her daughter. And that is the central question now, whether the administration is moving too aggressively, too quickly to deport immigrants who are in the country illegally, and in the process and along the way, trampling on the due process rights of non-citizens and citizens alike. The other case is also of a family sent to Honduras on that deportation flight, and that family included a 4-year-old boy born in the U.S. and thus a U.S. citizen who was receiving treatment here for a severe form of cancer, stage 4 cancer. And the attorneys and the representatives list of that family are saying that that family was also deported without being able to consult lawyers or a doctor.
And Camilo, we know that 2 other children who are also U.S. citizens were deported on Friday with their mother. Can you tell us more about that case?
So that's the family I just mentioned, Liz. That includes the U.S. citizen son and child who has stage 4 cancer. And the family, again, is alleging, and the representatives are alleging, that this family was deported too quickly without due process. ICE's position, of course, is saying that they gave the family the option to allow the U.S. citizen children to remain in the U.S. with a legal guardian, or to have that child or those children come with their parents who were in the country illegally back to their parents' home country, and that they took that option. ICE is also saying, Liz, importantly, that the U.S. citizen children, by virtue of being American citizens, can ultimately come back here to the United States. The open question, of course, is that we're talking about children, Liz, and so how can they actually come here when their parents who have been deported are now banished from the U.S. for at least 5 years?
And that little boy is still receiving intensive cancer treatment, so he's going to need to be close to his doctors, presumably. Camilo, I want to ask you about the other government raids across the country. Can you tell us about those?
Well, we know that over the weekend, the Department of Homeland Security, assisted by local and federal law enforcement, carried out a massive operation in Colorado targeting what officials say was an illegal nightclub frequented by suspected members of the notorious Venezuelan prison gang known as Tren de Aragua. And they arrested more than 100 migrants who were in the country illegally. And they are saying that this site involved prostitution, illicit drugs, and other crimes, in addition to the fact that they are saying that many of the people going to this nightclub were not only gang members, but were also people who were in the country without proper documents. And so this shows that the administration, again, is moving aggressively, not just to target undocumented immigrants through ICE resources and agents, but also enlisting the help of agencies like the FBI, DEA, ATF, and even the IRS to enhance border enforcement and immigration enforcement operations and comply with the president's demand that they fulfill and conduct the largest deportation operation in American history.
And none of these people are getting a day in court to plead their cases. Camilo Montoya-Galvez, thank you so much.